Hello friends and neighbors, welcome to Gentry Vintage. I'm Josh, your host. I hope this video finds you well. I am still codgering. This is day 7 or 8. It's Tuesday, so it's either the 7th or the 8th. I can't remember. Still puffing on the same old blend. I have to say I liked the blend that I made to begin with, but when I made a larger quantity of it, as I mentioned before, I cut back on the vanilla custard that was in it because it was just too much aromatic. I wasn't trying to go for aromatic, and I felt like it kind of became aromatic, even though I didn't put a lot in there. It just tried to overpower some of the flavors, and so I cut back on that when I made the larger quantity. And hopefully what I have now will get me through the month. I don't know, I've been smoking on it quite a bit. Right now, I got the vanilla custard where I was wanting it. I just enough to add a little sweet touch to it, but not be overpowering. Almost to the point that if you didn't know it was a vanilla custard, you definitely wouldn't know. You just notice a little sweet, a hint of something sweet in there, and that's what I was going for. Smoking it this afternoon in my Medico Medalist. I apologize if you hear the little yapper down the street. I don't know if the people have come home and it's excited, or if the people have left and it's unexcited. I don't know, but it's a little bit annoying. So yes, Southern flavor here is treat me right. It has been an absolutely gorgeous day today. In the low 40s, a little cool, just a little bit of a breeze, but not bad. Bright and sunny though, which has been nice. I don't warm up for too long. I came out here to decided to do this video on the back porch, and thank goodness you can't see the back porch right now because it is a disaster. It's downright embarrassing. We normally burn our cardboard boxes in the burn barrel and Amazon boxes and so forth, but we've had so much wind and rain lately, I just haven't been able to burn them, and we look like some hoarders right now. There is a huge pile of cardboard boxes over here. It's oh man, it's embarrassing. But I was thinking about maybe trying to burn some of those off this evening. It's not too breezy. I don't know, I might try to get a few of them knocked out this evening. If not, hopefully maybe this weekend. At least all the rain and storms are gone. Still got to deal with some flooding. The river hasn't crested yet, so still gonna rise a little bit. Beautiful afternoon. So I was curious, what was your first experience with pipe smoking? Not you smoking it particularly, but being around it. Was it a dad, a grandpa, close friend, cousin? For me, it was I call her my used-to-be stepmom, a previous stepmother of mine from years ago. She was from West Virginia, and every year, probably, I'd say at least 2 or 3 times a year, we would make the trip when I was a kid. We would make the trip to West Virginia from Tennessee every year to visit her family. Sometimes holidays, sometimes during the summer, just whenever. And man, I used to love going to West Virginia to visit them. They're always, nice people, and always enjoyed going. But as a kid, it was just extra fun because they lived in the mountains, and it was Dunbar, West Virginia. If you're familiar, it's right outside of Charleston. But they lived up in the hills, and one thing I always enjoyed, especially being a kid, is back behind their house there was a bunch of wagon trails, and my stepmom's dad used to, every day, that's what he'd do, is get up, he'd grab his pipe and his walking stick, and he'd go out and just do some hiking, walking in the woods or whatever, and just, that was his time. But usually he'd go by himself, but when we'd come up to visit, he'd always take me and my dad with him. And that was kind of his way of spending time with us. And he was kind of a grumpy, gruff kind of guy that could be kind of intimidating. But he had a huge heart. When you got to know him, he was a gentle man. He just came across kind of grumpy and gruff. But I always remembered, I used to love walking in that house when we first get there. You'd walk in the house and he'd be sitting in the recliner, usually puffing on a pipe, and had his little chihuahua in his lap. But the pipe smoke had just permeated the house, and then his wife's home cooking, and just those smells in that house is something I'll never forget. But I was always so fascinated with him. He'd always sit in his recliner in the corner of the living room there, and always had his ashtray there and his pipe and everything, and I don't know what it was, but it always intrigued me, and especially the smell. I just love the smell. But my stepmom's oldest brother was a pipe smoker also. And they'd get out on the back porch when the brother would come over to visit. Him and the dad would get out on the back porch and puff on their pipes and just talk and reminisce about things, and just like we all do. But that's what I've always thought of. My first, really being around pipe smoking goes back to when I was a kid. My stepmom's dad and oldest brother. I was just always fascinated with that and just loved the smell. It was a good time in my life. I always loved those visits, and her dad would always take me and my dad. I don't remember if it was in Dunbar or if it was in Charleston. I don't know exactly where it was, but I was a kid. But there was a huge flea market that he would always take us to, and I remember we used to always find some good stuff in that flea market. I think I still got a few things that I bought there when I was a kid. But I know I still have an old set of wrenches that had the Ford script on them, and you could get a tool kit. I think it was an accessory kit. I don't think it came with it. I think it was an aftermarket accessory. Well, maybe a dealer accessory or something, but I forget. But for the Ford Model A's, you could get a tool kit, and you could also get a tool kit with a Ford tractor. And I'm fairly certain that the tool kit, at least, I don't think it's a complete kit, but it's a majority of the wrenches and stuff. But I'm pretty sure the ones I have were for the Ford tractor. But they're pretty cool. I've always, for whatever reason, just held on to those. I just thought they were cool. They have the Ford script on each wrench has the Ford script on the handle. And I remember I found which I do still have, the innards, the guts are gone out of it, but it's the basic rest of it. But it's old motometer is what they called them. It was basically in the early 1930s and under. Your radiator cap was on the outside, and it had a meter on it to see your temperature. It's basically your temperature gauge, and you could buy aftermarket ones. There was several different companies that made aftermarket ones you could buy, and I found this one at the flea market. I think I gave $5 for it or something, and This one, like I said, the gauge inside the guts are gone out of it, but the glass is still in it. And it's got wings on it, like eagle wings. And I've always held on to that. I always thought it was cool. Don't know that it's really worth anything. I'm pretty sure it was an aftermarket piece. I don't think it was a factory piece or anything, but it's always been, I don't know, just something I've kept in my collection. If nothing else, it's just a memory, of back then. But me and my dad used to love just digging through all the crap you'd find in that flea market. There was some good stuff in there. I don't even know if that flea market is still around, but I remember my stepmom's dad would also, he'd always bring his pipe, and usually he'd walk around in the flea market smoking it. It was an indoor flea market, but he'd usually walk around smoking his pipe in the flea market. And then there was a little sitting area where there was a little refreshment stand, I guess you'd say. You could get a hamburger and whatever, and drinks and stuff. And had a little sitting area, and I remember there'd always be a couple old men just sitting in there talking and smoking pipes. And he always seemed to know them. I don't know. I wonder now if maybe he was in a pipe club or something, because these guys smoking pipes, he always knew who they were. They knew each other, of course. Like I said, I don't remember if it was in Charleston or Dunbar. It may have been a smaller community, and maybe they all just knew each other. But I always enjoyed those trips. And I even enjoyed they'd come down to visit us sometimes, and I used to love sitting out on the porch with him and when he'd be smoking his pipe. Most of all, the flea market was fun, but most of all, I really enjoyed the hiking through the old wagon trails up in the woods and everything. And it was good times. Really enjoyed that. Anyway, if you don't mind, put down in the comments, let me know what your first encounter with pipe smoking was. Like I said, maybe a dad, grandpa, neighbor. It could be anything. But anywho, I'm gonna sit here and finish this pipe and enjoy the afternoon, and might see if I can muster up some energy to throw some cardboard in the burn barrel. But I am still here. Southern flavor is still pleasing the palate. I sure hope I feel the same way at the end of this month. By the end of the month, I might be so tired of it, I don't want no more of it. But anyway, I reckon that's about all I got for now. But we'll check in very shortly, in another couple of days or so. But until then, I wish blessings for all, and lots of luck to you and yours.